RX323 Resto videos. In this chapter, I don't do much else but get the clutch working. Fit up the master cylinder, play around with the firewall, make my braided line, drop a bolt down the bell housing, which really peed me off, and basically bled the system and get it all working. So, I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so it's time to plumb up all the clutch side of the things, all the hydraulics for the clutch. So I've got my clutch slave cylinder here. So I've gone and got some fittings, so that this screws in there like that, and these fittings as well. So I've gone and bought these as well, that fits on there. So I've got my line. So what I've done, I've measured up the distance between the master cylinder and the slave cylinder, which is just this bit of garden hose, and I've gone and got my braided line, which I've bought all this and just made it, cut it to length like that. So just cut that with the angle grinder, and now it's time to get all these fittings onto it, which I'm sure I'm going to hurt my fingers because that's really sharp. So you've got to splay this out a bit. And then get this fitting on. So first of all, I need to feed this over there. Just like that. Now the tricky bit is to get this fitting over that. It's got to go all the way down and push it all the way down. I'm not sure whether you can see it, but there's a ridge inside of that, and that's got to fit on that plastic bit, so it goes on like that, and you press it really hard, then you bring that back up, and you've got to push this in, and then screw this down. So that's going to go off my master cylinder like that, and then go off. This end will be down at the slave cylinder. There we go. Job done. Okay, so I'm going to fit up the clutch master cylinder now. So it goes in here. So I've just center punched in the middle here and here. And now I'm going to drill 2 pilot holes, hopefully. Alright, now for the big hole. And out comes half the lining in the back there. So as you can see there, it's not ideal, but it's like the way the car's been stamped with there. It's not lining up, but there should be enough meat there just to hold the back of the bolt on anyway. So this is the other side of the clutch master cylinder. As you can see, I've just got the hole saw out and just drilled a hole in the fibrous board just around there, and then just up there just so I can get to the bolts. I've put an extra big washer just up on the top. As you remember before, there wasn't much room, just to give it some strength, and that's all bolted in now with 12mm bolts. So this is the pin that runs through between the pedal. As you can see, I've squashed that closed. This is an RX7 clutch master cylinder, and I just had to. It's a little bit different. Obviously, this car had to run a cable before, so I had to make just a few adjustments to the RX7 stuff just to make it fit. I've just had to elongate that hole just a bit. So now it goes up there and fits up on there, and it's job done. Works perfect. Okay, it's time for the clutch slave cylinder to go on. It goes on down here. Just puts on there, two 12mm bolts. You gotta be damn careful you don't drop it down in there, because otherwise it ain't coming out. So carefully does it. Slip them up like that. Now so here it is, all bolted up now, and we just follow the braided line down through, down to the clutch slave cylinder there. It's all bolted up. But I've got another issue. I don't know if you can see down through here, the gap. There's just a millimetre of gap. So when that throws out, when that goes out, it's going to probably hit the tunnel. So that's another issue I'm going to have to work through, but no big deal. Sure, I can sort it out. But the clutch is all bled now with the help of my beautiful little daughter, and she's ready to go. The clutch, that is, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that tunnel now. So you're probably wondering what's going on here. I've had to drop the engine and gearbox out for a really good reason. Well, one, as we explained before, this was hitting against the firewall, so I wanted to get to the back of the firewall and adjust the firewall to give some clearance. So I've done that. It's a bit hard to see, but just here, I've pushed all that area up. And I dropped a bolt down in here, and I couldn't get it out, even with a magnet, which I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried. So I had to unbolt the gearbox, and as soon as I unbolted the gearbox, this nut fell straight out. Anyhow, I retrieved it now, so once again, learn from my mistakes. I've tucked this rag in here, so when I bolt back on the clutch slave cylinder, I'll just pull that rag out. If a bolt does fall, it's going to fall there and not into the damn bell housing. Okay, so I've popped the engine back in, and as you can see, the clutch slave cylinder has now heaps of room between the firewall and the tunnel. All done by a gentle bit of persuasion with a ball peen hammer. So now the clutch actually works now. So there's my braided line, which goes across there, up there, to my new master cylinder, which is then bolted through the wall. So now I have a clutch that works. Yippee! Thanks for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. In the next episode, I'll start playing around ripping out the fuel lines and hopefully get into some wiring, because it's some of my favourite bits. I've got all the wiring there for the car and the ECU. Yeah, don't forget to go back, and if you look, just first time watching this video, go back and watch some of the other ones, like them, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching.